Hi, so in today's video I just thought I'd have a quick look at the Brother ScanNCut pen tool. I actually tried to do a live video on this about a week or so ago, but I was having trouble, so I just thought I'd try again. So if you own a Brother ScanNCut, I'm in the UK and this is the 600 model, the CM600. All the machines are basically the same. You just may get different patterns pre-installed on your machine, or you may get a different package when you buy the machine initially. The original pen tool that came out for the Brother ScanNCut was this little pen tool here with these pens, and these come in a pack of I think 6 colours, but as you can see they're only small, quite fine tipped pens. But you're kind of restricted to, you know, using these pens in these colours. And these just clip into, you press the clip on the back, open the lid up, take the lid off, drop your pen in, and then there's a little holder in the top where you keep your pen. And then you put this into your ScanNCut machine where your blade would normally go, and then you can draw with it. But recently, more recently, well, last year, Brother brought out a universal pen holder, and I'll just show you this. It comes in 2 parts. So you get the cradle, which is like to set the pen, and you get the pen holder. Now, just to give you a bit of an idea, this is a regular Bic pen. And I don't know if you can see the thickness of it there. And I've had to put tape around this to fatten it up quite a lot to make it sit in this pen holder and write with any degree of clarity, really. Because otherwise, if you don't put this tape on it, it just wobbles around in here and it just won't work. So I've only got a small amount of pens at the moment that I've been buying and trying to see if they work, and I just thought I'd show you a few and then I'll do a bit of a demo on the machine. So the first set that I picked up was just from a Morrison's supermarket, and they're just called fine liners, and there's 10 in the pack of this. As you can see, they're a very, very fine tip, and this kind of triangular shape. I'm not sure if that's going to come over on the video or not. But again, I've had to fatten them up, but nowhere near as much as a regular Bic pen. And the way that I've done mine, when you get your pen holder, as I say, it comes in 2 parts, and you just get a little set of instructions with it. And basically what I do, I try the pen in the holder, and you know, if it's wobbling around, I lay the pen onto this diagram as it shows here with the nib at this end, and then where these 2 marks are in relation to the pen, I wind some tape. And I basically just, I'm using washi tape. You could use masking tape, I suppose, anything really, but I'm just using washi tape because I've got some that I don't really use. And I wind it round until it then sits in this holder, and when I lock it into place, it grabs the pen. Now, the way this works, you've got a cradle that says Brother on it, and you've got a pen holder that says Brother on it, and just under this Brother, I'm not sure if you can see, but there are 2 arrows, and these 2 arrows slot into 2 arrows that are on the cradle, so it sits like that. You drop your pen in, there's a grey section on the front, and this section you lift it up and turn it left to lock your pen into place, and your pen won't go in if it's in that locked position. So to release it, again, you lift up this grey section, there's a bit that sticks out here, lift it up and turn it back, and it clicks into place. And I'm not sure whether you can see, but there's like a little groove here that slots into. And once you do that, your pen will then, I'll just take a lid off this, your pen will drop in, and as you can see, that wobbles around, so that's no good for writing. So this is where this comes in, and as I say, you line your pen up on it and you just wrap some tape around your pen at the corresponding marks. And this is what I've done with these fine liners. So I've just got washi tape around, and then basically what I do, I drop the pen in, and it has to drop to the bottom. Don't apply a lot of pressure on this, because if you've got a pen that's got quite a fine nib, you can blunt it. So drop the pen in, while you're still holding the holder and the cradle, lift this up and turn it to the left, and it should lock into place, and your pen should be quite stable then. And then once that's stable, you can take this out, and this just then goes into the pen holder. Now, what I will say, the results that you get with your pen are determined by how you set your pen initially. So if you don't have it set right down onto the bottom of the cradle, you're supposed to put a piece of media. So this is like lightweight card that I'm going to write on. You're basically supposed to put a little piece of the same media that you're going to write on in the bottom, and then set this in and drop your pen in. But I'm just going to do it without today, and hopefully it should work okay. So I'm going to put this now into the pen holder, lock it into place. I'm just going to go to patterns, and I'll choose just a random pattern from the machine. Try a flower, and I'll take it down in size to about 1.5 inches. Hopefully still big enough for you to see it, but to show you that you don't have to draw, you know, everything really large. And I'm going to say okay, okay again, and set, and it's on the mat. And I've got a piece of, as I say, cream lightweight card loaded up on my mat here. So now I'm going to say okay and draw, wait for it to process, and I'm going to set the machine off, and hopefully it'll draw that flower for me. So as you can see, it's drawn it. Now if I wanted to fill that in with a pattern, I could do that. So I'm just going to say okay. Now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to show you a few more pens, because I've just got a desk full of bits of pens at the moment. So another set of pens that I found that work okay, somebody actually told me about these, are, if you're in the UK, these are from the Works, and these are by a company called Scribblicious, and there's 79p for 4, 2 silver, 2 gold. And this is what I was trying to show last week when I was having trouble with the YouTube live. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but basically this is something that I put together in Canvas using the font converter, and then I wrote this out in gold. And my thinking was that at some point I may frame this in a box frame. Not sure whether you can see it or not, and that's just a very pale gold, that. And I'll show you the nib on this. It's just like a normal pen, and these pens have got like a bit of rubber already on them, so these don't need any bulking out in the holder. That's the silver one, if you can see it there. Silver's better, more, it's clearer than the gold. So that's with the Scribblicious pens. Then a couple more pens I've found in Hobbycraft recently are these metallic markers by Staedtler, and these come in a pack of 2, gold and silver, and I think these were about £2, something like that, so £1 each. Now these are a thicker ended pen, and I'm not sure whether you're going to be able to tell the difference, but if you look at the silver and look at the gold, the silver's a bit flatter. And that's because when I was setting this pen in the holder, I pushed it down to make sure it fit, and I squashed the nib slightly. So when this one draws now, it draws a slightly thicker, fatter line. So you do have to apply ever such a slight pressure to get your pen to sit down, but not too much that you damage the nibs of your pen. So what I'll do, I'll take this one out. So again, I'm going to unlock it by lifting it up and turning it round. Take this one out. I'm just going to put the lid back on the pen because I'm covered in ink already. I'm going to get the holder again, set it into the holder. I'll show you the silver one. Again, with this one, I've had to put some tape on it the same way as I showed you how to do by using your leaflet and laying your pen down. This one I just put one piece of tape, and I don't know if you can see, but it's barely got any on this. It's probably got about a 3-inch piece just wrapped round. So I'm going to drop this one in, push it down so it touches the bottom but without flattening the nib. Lift it up and set it and take it out. Put it into the machine. I'm going to move that flower down. Say OK, draw, and set it off again. I'm just going to go into my settings because the beeps are turned off on my machine, and I like to hear them so I know that things are actually working. And then I'm going to come into, just go back to the settings, and I'm just going to come to the draw speed and pressure. I've got my draw speed set to 3, which is the default on the machine. I'm not sure whether you can see it there on the camera or not. And I've got my draw pressure set on 2. The default, I think, is 0. Yeah, when you've got a black box around it, that's the default. It may work on that. In fact, I might try it in a few minutes. I'll take the silver pen out, unlock, and I'll put the gold one in and see if you can see a difference in the nib. Just going to go and move this. Okay, I'm just going to unload this and I'm going to show you. I don't know if you'll be able to see the difference in the pen. So this is the silver one and the line is slightly thicker, and that's the gold version, and the line's thinner. And that's because, as I say, I kind of blunted the nib on my pen. It's a soft nib. So just be careful when you're setting them. But anyway, I'll load it back in and then I'll show you the other pens. So the other pens that I got are, again, from Hobbycraft. These are by Sakura, and these are metallic gel pens. And these came in a pack of 3, and I can't remember how much these were, to be honest. But you get gold, silver and white. So we'll try a silver one. Again, I had to use the instructions and put some washi tape on this, but again, not an awful lot. The ones that you need more tape on are just the regular type pens. You know, your regular big pens. I don't know if you can see this, but there's actually quite a lot of tape on there. So put the holder back in its cradle, drop the pen in. So you try and do this in front of you. So you lift and turn to the left and let it grow, and let it go, and it's grabbed the pen, and then you just take that out, and that should be relatively stable in your holder. So I'm going to put the holder, put it back in the holder. We'll go to the home button and we'll just write some words. Just go into, I'm going to resize them down. Say OK. And I'm just going to scan this mat in so that I can position the words on this piece of card without writing over anything else. So if you've got a ScanNCut, leave me comments in the this is a live video obviously, but the recording will stay on my channel. Leave me some comments, let me know what pens you use, what you like to use them for. Right, I'm going to bring this one down here. I'm going to say okay, draw, and then we'll draw with this pen and see how it looks. Obviously I'm doing this quite big. You know, you can reduce the size, you can fill them in now because we've got fill patterns on the machine. Just going to move you around ever so slightly. I'll unload the mat. In fact, you might be able to see it without me unloading it, because then I'm going to try and fill it in. So you can see it there. Now, obviously it follows the outline of your letters. So I've done a previous video on using a pen tool and fonts. But you want like thin stroke fonts, really, like single stroke fonts, that kind of thing, to give you more of a filled in font. And now we've got the font converter and we can use any font on our computers. It just makes the pen tool, you know, even more of a great thing to have. But what I'm going to try and do now, I'm going to try and fill this in and see how it looks. So I'm going to go back while it's selected. I'm going to go to the tools icon. I'm going to find the line, fill additional line. I'm going to click on the wrench. I'll leave it as a solid colour, and I'll leave all the settings as the default. And as I said, you know the default settings because they're on a solid black background. And I'll say OK and OK. And then I'll go into the patterns and we'll ask it to fill it. And that's the icon here that looks like a piece of paper with a pen nib on it. And we'll say OK, 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 draw and go. Now it's just going to redraw it because I've already drawn it once and I've left it in there, but it's filling it in now, so we'll see how it looks, how well it does. Now, I'm really sorry if you've been asking me questions, but it's really difficult for me to see on a small screen. I'm trying to watch the machine and obviously I can't always see your comments. But if you have left me comments and I've not answered you, I'm really sorry. But if, as I say, the video will go up on my channel. So if you leave me comments under the video, I'll try and get back to you if you've asked me anything and I've missed your questions. Okay, so that's finished. I'll unload it. And then I'll bring it up and hopefully you can see it. So now, on there, it's filled it in for me. So that's, you know, it's brilliant, this universal pen tool. I don't know if you can see it. So it's actually filled in the letters for me. And you can do that with anything. You can draw a shape and fill it in. And there's different patterns. I'll see if I can do another one quickly for you. So I'll go back to the home button. OK to delete all patterns. I'll go to the pattern. I'll go back to that flower. I'm going to go and I'm going to move it for a start, and then I'll just resize it. And then I'm going to put the fill pattern on, but I've got to go in the settings to change it. So I'm going to go and find the fill, which is on page 4. Click the wrench, and then if you click the wrench next to the pattern, you'll get some different designs. So we'll go for this one. We'll say OK, OK, OK again. and I'm going to put it up there, so because I've not done anything on this corner of the card. I'm going to say okay, okay, and draw. Now this says it's going to take a minute, so we'll see. So if anybody's got any questions while this is doing, just ask me now and I'll see if I can look at the screen and see if I can read them. It's great having this YouTube live, but unfortunately if your eyes are not that good... Oh, I've done it in the wrong place. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back and I'm going to scan the mat. I've forgotten, I've not got a 12 by 12 piece of card on. Okay, I'm going to move it, get it on there, and then I'll set this off again. Okay, so I think somebody just said it's the first they've heard about putting tape around a pen. Now, if your pen fits into this holder snugly when it's locked in, you don't need tape. But if your pen goes in that holder and it wobbles around, like I showed you when I first came on live, then you need to apply some tape around it, and that's how you can get around it, and that's how you can then use, you know, other pens that you might have in your stash. Some pens are too thick. Regular Sharpie pens are too thick for this holder, but I've been told that there's a fine line Sharpie, and I've just not been able to get hold of any to test that out. But if you've got this universal pen holder and you've used the fine line Sharpies, again, as I say, either leave me a comment on the screen or leave me a comment in the box under the video once I've finished recording. But as I say, if your pen fits in here snugly, you've not got a problem. But a way to get round it so you can use, you know, regular type pens is to apply tape. So I'll just unload this and hopefully you can see it. So I don't know if you can see this now. Try and hold it up without getting any glare. So there's the flower, it's drawn the flower and it's applied the fill line. Now if I'd not unloaded the mat, I could have then asked it to cut that out as well. But because I've unloaded the mat, the chances are, you know, if I might not load it in exactly and it might not cut out in the right place. So I don't know if that's been of any help to any of you. I'll just move that out of the way. But again, I'll unlock it and just go over it again. So basically, with the original pen tool, this is what you got, this little pen tool, and you had to use these tiny little set pens that came with it in 6 colours, and then they do 2 erasable ones as well for fabric. And then last year they brought out the universal pen holder, and by bringing this out, it enables us to use, you know, pens that we might already have with our ScanNCut. And as I say, coupled with the new font converter that we can now use any font on our computer. We can write greetings, we can do all sorts of things. So just to go over the pens, I'll just try and find an ordinary pen. Okay, so something like this, let's just say you've got one of these. This is one of those Stabilo fine line markers. These are the short ones, they do a longer one, but something like this, if you wanted to use this, once you've got your pen holder in the cradle, if you drop that in, you'll see that just wobbles about all over the place. I'm sort of trying to read the comments. Something to do with embossing. Can you just tell me again what it is you're asking? So with this, as I say, as you can see, that wobbles around all over the place, and you just wouldn't be able to write with that at all, because even when you lock it in, it's still, don't know if you can see, but it's still moving. So you just put tape around it, drop it in, lock it in place, and it holds it a bit firmer. So now we'll try with this. lost my stylus now. I've got that many pens on my desk. There it is. Right, we'll go back home. Okay to cancel. We'll go back to some text. I'll just type anything for now. I'll make it small. Say okay. I'll just scan so that I can place it on there. I'll put it there. Now I'm leaving the draw pressure and everything as it is already, and we'll see how this one goes. Sometimes you have to play around with it, you know, to get your draw pressure right. There you go. So that one's, can you see that in the pink? And again, I'll just unlock it and I'll show you, and you can see how fine that nib is on there. So I hope that might have been of some use to you. As I say, I'll just recap the pens. Scribblicious from the works, 79p for 4, 2 gold, 2 silver. Secura gel pens, Hobbycraft, gold, silver and white. I've used the 2 Stadler markers. You can see these are chunkier pens. And then I've just shown you how to use one of these Stabilo fine liners, and you could just use an ordinary Bic pen, but you would have to tape it up. So anything that you can get to fit in here snugly, you should be able to use. So if you've got any questions, if you just want to ask me them now, and I'll see if I can read them. As I say, I am struggling. Oh, you've got plenty of washi tape, brilliant. I have too, and that's what I've been using. Just tear a piece off about 4 inches long, wrap it round. I literally start it off and then hold it in place, and I just roll the pen like that and let it roll up, and then I put another piece on, drop it into the holder and see if it fits in snugly. What about Bic pens? Are they okay? Yeah, I would think so. That's a Bic pen. I'll try this one for you if you want. Just make sure it drops down to the bottom. Lock it into place. I'll put the mat back in. I'll just go back and I'll move this word, and hopefully it's in a space where I've not drawn before. And we'll see if this one works. Okay, has anybody else got any questions just while that one's writing? If you set your pen off and it doesn't look as though it's writing, you can always pause your machine. I just can't believe I haven't thought of when I tried and stopped using pens. Thanks for sharing. Brilliant. No worries. No questions, but yeah, fabulous. No worries. Thank you, Lorraine, I think it said. So we'll just unload this and I'll show you. Can you see the green? So that's just a regular, everyday Bic pen that you would use, or your kids might use at school, but it's just got quite a bit of washi tape around it. As I say, so when you get your pen holder, you get these instructions. Take the lid off your pen, line it up so that the nib is where the nib is on the paper, and just apply tape. Most of the tape always goes where the pen, your pens are kind of narrow, and then they kind of start to fatten out. The first lot of tape tends to go around there, and then your second lot of tape, as you can see. On some I've just put 1, and on others I've put 2, just to give it a bit more stability. If you put too much tape on, just reel some off, tear it off and try it. If you've not got enough, add some more on. That's all I've done. And then you'll get to know, as you start messing about with all your pens, you'll get to know, you know, where you put your tape in relation to your pen. Yeah, great, no worries. Jan, thank you. What pen would you recommend to infill the lines on the drawings on the ScanNCut? Anything, as you've just seen me do here. I've just filled that one in with one of the silver pens. That one I've used the patterns, and that was a different silver pen. Any pen, so long as you've got the pressure set. So when you put your pen in your holder, so long as you've got your pen actually set properly in here, so it's down on the bottom and locked in and it's firm, if it writes, it should be able to fill it in for you. Anything else before I go, because I've been on about 31 minutes or so. As I say, this will upload to my channel and it'll be there. Julie, you're welcome, thank you. It will be there for you to just keep watching. I did have trouble with last week's. I think it was to do with my internet connection, but we've had a boost on our connection this week, so that's why I just thought I'd try this because I had some time. Cards and Doodles, yeah, thank you, you're welcome. Suzanne, thank you, no worries, hope it was helpful. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you don't already do so. It's Apple Lover 53 if you've just found me and you don't know who I am. So I think, have you tried the Unipert? No, I haven't. I've been trying to find a secure glue pen because I want to try that, but I've not been able to find one. Lorraine, thank you, a regular subscriber, lovely, thank you. But I will try and get hold of, I know Secura used to do, they used to do a glue pen, something like this, with blue glue in it, and it was, I think, permanent or repositionable. It works but avoids the rollers, right, brilliant, thank you. But I do want to try it myself, but I've just not been able to get a glue pen. I did order one. I'll show you if I can find the one I ordered. I ordered one off the internet, but when it came, in fact I've got two. When it came, it's too thick. The picture, I thought this was the thinner one. It won't fit in this holder, either of these. So I'm still on the lookout for a nice thin glue pen, and then I will be trying it in the pen holder. But as Lorraine has just said, it should work, but just avoid your rollers. So, you know, make sure that you keep if you're using it with text. Try using an embossing tool and parchment. Yeah, you could do. You can try. I did think about putting an embossing tool in here, actually. I have got one somewhere and I will try it. The only thing I would say about that is, though, obviously your mat's not spongy, and I've not got the embossing kit. I've not bought it because, to be fair, I don't actually really do any embossing. But I have a feeling that you might have to have something on your mat that gives it a bit of sponge. Create and Craft do the thin glue pen. Oh, brilliant, thanks, I'll try it. You need funky foam, okay, for the embossing. Yeah, so you'd probably have to put a piece of foam on, like Lorraine's just said, and then put a regular embossing tool in here. Maybe try a thin... What was that again? Something about masking tape. Sorry, maybe try a thin something masking tape. I missed that, really sorry. But yeah, you just try it, just play around with it. You can't really damage your machine. Yeah, same for me. I could only find glue pens that were thick, but if you're in the UK or you have access to Create and Craft, Lorraine's just said Create and Craft sell the thin one. And as I say, I'm sure it was a Secura one that used to do one like this, but with glue in it. The comments are going up now really quick and I can't really see them all. I'm really sorry. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to end the video here. Hope it's been of some help to somebody. If you are a regular subscriber, great. Thanks for tuning in for me. If you found me and you're new, as I say, I'm Apple Lover 53 on YouTube, and I basically just do videos Samuel Taylor in Leeds sells the glue pen, so if there's anybody in the UK that wants to go and have a look at Samuel Taylor, Lorraine's saying they sell them. Most of my videos are posted in relation to do with the ScanNCut, either the machine itself or I show how to do videos in ScanNCut Canvas. I have actually just given in and ordered the CM900 now with the Wi-Fi, so I'm hoping that that's going to arrive in the next week, and I'll do probably a video on setting up the Wi-Fi capability on that, and maybe do a video just showing if the patterns or whatever's different in the machine. Basic machines are all the same, it's just what you get within them. If you are new, I have a blog on my YouTube channel. There's a link to my blog. Go to the ScanNCut information page. There's a mass of information there. Shows you how to look for updates for your machine, which are all free. If you've not done any, do the updates. It's brilliant. The machine really just does get better. Brother's given us loads and loads of updates. And it's a machine that just keeps on giving, really. There are several other kits that you can buy. I'm in the UK. We can only generally get them from Create and Craft, but I think some are available on Amazon. There's a rhinestone kit, there's a sticker kit. I've got both of those. I've done videos on those. There's the new embossing kit, and I believe there's a foiling kit coming out, which, to be fair, I don't use foil. I've got some foil in my craft stash that I've had years, and I don't think I've ever used it, so I probably won't buy the foiling kit or the embossing kit, but you never know. Anyway, thanks again, and hopefully, as I say, you've got some helpful information from this mass of pens that I've got all over my desk. I will keep buying more pens and trying them out. Foiling kit's very simple. It's same as using the pet. Right, okay, so the foiling kit, yeah, okay, that's fine. As I say, I'll keep looking for pens and I will keep trying them. And I will keep searching for a glue pen, and then I'll maybe come back and show you if I find one. So I'm going to end this here now. Thanks again. See you all soon, and have fun. Try your pens out with your tape, and if you do, leave me comments underneath this video and let me know how you got on. Thanks a lot.